Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. Now if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me along my journey so far, and if you're new to the channel, then please consider hitting that bell notification and the subscription button so that you can stay up to date with all future content. Now in today's video I'm going to be reviewing for you the Glen Grant 10. So let's get into this, pour a little bit into the glass and get started on the review. So as I just mentioned, this is the Glen Grant 10-year-old. It is bottled at 40%. It is a Speyside single malt from Scotland. So we'll start getting into the review, but before I do, I would like to just point out as well that a little while ago I have also reviewed the Glen Grant Arboralis, which was an absolutely another fantastic expression from Glen Grant. So I'll put a link for that video down in the description box below, and put those info cards up the top. But for those of you who are fans of Glen Grant, please in the comments down below let me know what other expressions that I need to try, because the Arboralis was fantastic. I have been really enjoying this so far as well, and I really want to try more. So yeah, let me know down below what you reckon I should try next. So let's get on with the review. On the nose, nice and fruity, typical Speyside. Straight away, apples, almost like very ripe brown pears. It's got a nice crisp fruitiness to it as well. Something quite similar to, say, like a nashi pear or a green Granny Smith apple. There's a subtle vanilla cream that comes through as well. And a touch of honey. One thing that I like as well is how well the honey and vanilla are just mingling with the fruits. So those apples and pears are just like married perfectly together with those with the honey and vanilla. I'm getting quite a bit of barrel spice coming through as well. Touch of pepper. Maybe a little bit of clove. Now I'm not sure if there is any peated malt in this at all, but there's a certain earthiness that I'm getting as well that is usually quite like characteristic of peat. Like I said, I'm not sure if there is any peat in this. There may not be. It could be just like barrel char that I'm picking up. There's a nice soft oakiness that's coming in as well. Okay, so it's already starting to change a little bit. I'm also starting to get dried apricots. Citrus as well, but not your typical like lemon or lime or orange. This is something more like a lemon tea tree. So there's a tree in Australia that we have that's like a tea tree and there are like many varieties of it. This note that I'm getting is quite similar to the lemon tea tree, which could also be explaining that earthiness that I'm getting as well. It's got like this nice oily lemony citric note to it. I'm loving the oak. The oak influence is really, really good. Touch of mint. You can just keep going. There's just so much happening, but I'll move along. I won't bore you too much, and let's see what we get on the palate. So cheers. Wow. Now this is something that you wouldn't expect from a 40% ABV. Normally, the mouthfeel of a 40% whiskey is usually very thin, sometimes virtually non-existent. This is not like that at all. This is thick, syrupy. There's bite to it. You can taste these. You can taste the spirit. Straight away, just off the mouthfeel alone, you're just getting so much sensation. Then, as the flavor opens up, you are getting, again, those apples and pear notes. Now, I'm also getting some like lemon rind. It's also quite floral, so, and I don't know, it could be because I've been quite lazy at the moment. I haven't mowed the lawn for a while. I've got quite a lot of like wildflowers growing up in the garden, and I'm getting like that wildflower perfume. It has a really good like malty cereal note as well. It's kind of strange. It's kind of wheaty. This is kind of a note that you would kind of pick up a little bit more from a bourbon rather than a Scotch. But again, that probably is the barrel influence coming through. There's a really nice, soft, gentle pepper note that comes through that just mixes in with all the flavors. Now I'm starting to get a bit more like tropical fruits coming along. So also things like mango, pineapple. It has something that I haven't really picked up from a whiskey before, and that's kind of like an acidity. There's kind of like a bit of a sour or bitter acidity that's coming through, which isn't horrible. Normally that kind of flavor will probably be quite off-putting for a lot of people, but in terms of the way it's complementing the flavor of this whiskey, it's actually really, really nice. The finish is gentle, it's elegant, and yet it just keeps going as well. You just have this nice, soft and lingering finish. It's quite sweet, so I'm getting quite a bit of like brown sugar, caramel, honey. Definitely quite a bit of honey, but like a very thin, watered down honey. And again, just that malt is just, it dances. It dances, it flows, it just mixes well with all those flavors. It is really, really nice. It's kind of like a morning cereal that you've had, where you've kind of poured like honey and fruits all over your cereal and whatnot. It is definitely a very enjoyable whiskey. This is one of those ones where, considering that it is bottled only at 40%, it hits above its weight. This has the taste and texture of something a bit higher, probably playing at around the 45% mark. Excellent value for money. I think if you're able to find this, and if you've been questioning whether you should pick it up or not, stop questioning. Just get it and see what you think of it for yourself, because this is a very enjoyable whiskey. It is definitely a perfect entry point whiskey for beginners. It is a perfect example of the Speyside region. It gives you all those basic characteristics that you would expect from a typical Speyside, and it has the complexity there to satisfy even seasoned or say veteran whiskey drinkers. It is one that you could just keep coming back to, and you will always enjoy it. There is nothing that I can really say that's negative about this whiskey. It is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. I really don't have anything else to say. So that's the Glen Grant 10-year-old. I hope that you all get to try it and enjoy it as much as what I have, because it's a beautiful whiskey. So I'll put that down. I'll finish this last sip, and I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.